We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get crispy after Monday Night Raw?
Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. And we are only a few days away from night one of SummerSlam 2025, the first ever two-night SummerSlam. And on today's show, we are going to try to predict night one of the show. These ones are always fun. We always end up being either very wrong or completely correct. It tends to be one or the other, but I need a fantastic panel to predict alongside me. Let's kick things off over in California. Let's kick things off outside of LA. How are you, Clark?
I'm fired up to be back. I'm inland enough. The tsunami warning, I'm going to be good. That's the good news. But I will say also, when is the last time my first daily of the week was on a Wednesday? I don't know if I've ever missed both Monday, Tuesday. So I'm stoked. This is going to be interesting. And you know I love prediction shows. But more importantly than that, Ben, we have a wicked debut today. I'm fired up about that.
We absolutely do. It is debut season here at Wrestling Republic, and we have a fantastic one today. We have Angie. How are you, Angie?
Hey guys, I'm doing really good. Thank you for having me. I look forward to working with everybody on these daily predictions and being able to just simply talk about wrestling. This honestly is my first podcast, so I'm really stoked about this.
It is going to be a fun one, that is for sure. We have Game with T in the comments saying Angie with all the exclamation marks possible on that. We got Shard as well and Aunt You in the comments as well. Roundhead says, I know we know what's going to be on night one, but do we know the order yet? No, they actually don't tell us really until the show actually starts.
And honestly,
starts,
even if we did, we're spoiler free here. We probably wouldn't tell you.
That's true. Keep it a secret. We gatekeep it from all of you. Numero one Superfly says, Happy Prediction Day, Wrestling Republic, Part 1. Absolutely, numero one. I hope you are having a fantastic day. And we got Roundhead in the comments as well. Right. Out of the gate, let's start things off with Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill, the WWE Women's Championship match. I mean, this one I kind of feel like has been a long time in the making. We know on WWE Unreal this week, they revealed that the original plan for WrestleMania was Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill. And I reckon, and this is going to be a theme with my predictions throughout this show, that the original plan was to put the title on Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, but they delayed it. I am predicting Jade. Clark, what about you?
This is Jade's time. I really, really love Tiffany Stratton. I've actually enjoyed this title run more than I think some others have. I know there was a little bit of drama with Charlotte Flair that may or may not get broken down over on Unreal. They aren't spoiler free on Netflix, are they? Not so much. But at the same time, I think it's time to put the belt on Jade. Do it, because Jade Bianca is money. It is absolutely as good of a rivalry as we can have now, and that part of the story hasn't been told with a title involved. I think it makes more sense. I think it's Jade's time via Jaded, and don't be surprised if this is her best bell-to-bell match in WWE yet. You heard it here first.
Wow, a big call, but I like it. And Aunt You agrees as well, saying Jade with a statement win. Meanwhile, Shard numero one and Game with T all are predicting Tiffany Stratton, so the comment section are divided. But Clark, you just mentioned it, of course, Bianca Belair. Well, we also know Naomi is in on their feud as well, and she's currently the world champion, potentially crown jewel. If Jade does win, they could do Jade Cargill versus Naomi, and that is how you do that blow-off match.
It's very possible, too. Title versus title. Who in the world would that hurt? I don't think anybody. I didn't even consider that aspect of the story because I'm just thinking of how you get Jade to Bianca. I want that matchup.
Yeah.
I also just
We've
think the
got to
mic
have
work
it.
there, the comfortability after working together as a tag team, as long as they know each other well. That's going to be awesome promo work and an awesome story to be told. So that's why I'm looking forward to that one the most.
I will say that, but I will also say I want Bianca versus Naomi like Charlotte
That as
does
well.
as well.
All three, right?
Gotta do it.
Eventually, if we somehow ended up with a triple threat, I would have no issue with that. Obviously, with 2 titles involved, I don't see that as the
2 brands. It's difficult, isn't it?
But there are a lot of possibilities when it comes to navigating this one because it's a story that it's been well told, but it hasn't ended. Obviously, there were some injuries along the way and whatnot, but it's not. There are other stories I would say that have gotten less definitive ends or have fizzled out. Compared
no,
to
you
this
are right there. Yeah. Angie, what about you? What is your prediction for this women's championship match?
I'm gonna be honest. I think that Naomi will cost Jade the match because I feel like she still has that chip on her shoulder against her. So I feel like that's how that's probably gonna go. But I, of course, really would rather Mother be able to win this more because Jade is an absolute unit when it comes down to wrestling. So I'm really hoping that Jade is the one that wins. But with the fact of Naomi, anything is possible.
That is a very good point and could potentially set up another championship match down the line. Clark, you mentioned before that a potential triple threat match. What if, to Angie's point, Tiffany Stratton does win the match thanks to Naomi, but then afterwards they do another draft or whatever. We have Jade, Naomi, and Bianca Belair on the same brand. And then for the World Championship, we could get that.
I have no issue with that whatsoever. And I love that she said that Jade is a unit. I couldn't agree more. She's chiseled out of stone. She looks like a video game character that's made up in real life. And it's like, I could not agree more. And I would have no issue with that. I think I went with my prediction, the slightly different direction, but I would have no issue with either one coming true.
It's a winner either way here now, actually thinking about that, because I came into this show thinking Jade has to win. But now, Angie, after you said that, either way, I think we are going to end up with something very, very special. But up next, well, actually, before we do that, I want to read Roundhead's comment because he said Jade will win. I'm not happy at all. She really isn't good. I don't get the hype at all. I mean, I could not disagree more. Nobody in this industry is overanalyzed as much as she is. Nobody has a magnifying glass put over them as much as Jade Cargill has. And every single time, she has improved.
If you take the what's happened since out of it, Brock Lesnar's initial run, you would have said the same thing. Because, yes, he looked unbelievable. And he was the next big thing, and he was booked to beat Taker and Hogan and Rock and every single person that you maybe didn't want him to beat at the time and whatnot. And he was real green in the ring, green. Obviously, take the personal stuff, the recent stuff away. I'm not talking about that in regards to Jade. But as far as the run is concerned, just being an absolute physical specimen, the look, the aura, as the kids are saying these days, not to steal a Gen Z word. But it's there. It's obvious too. Charisma is what I would use personally.
Yeah.
She has it in spades. And I feel like that's something that it isn't hard to miss, the amount of charisma that she has, whether you appreciate the bell to bell work all the way yet. I don't know that that's going to matter. The Goldberg comparisons are incorrect. She's already miles ahead of where Goldberg was at this stage of his career. Miles
ahead of where he retired, to be honest.
Yeah, miles ahead of where he was like 2 weeks ago. But that's where I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I completely agree. And on yesterday's daily broadcast, Chad, Geordie, and Chaos had a discussion about whether or not Gunther was a superstar. And they said that he's a good wrestler, but not a superstar. And that's a conversation for another day before we open up that bucket of worms. But
be careful there. I've got thoughts.
Yeah, so do I. But the fact is, Jade Cargill is a superstar. Like, there is no denying that. Like you said, Angie, chiseled out of stone.
She has that look where she walks in a room and everybody's head turns.
Yeah.
And that's
Also,
just
if I might
fact.
add,
Yeah.
she's a lot more versatile than a lot of the more bigger wrestlers, anyways. Like, she's not sitting there with just like a moves of doom kind of thing, but like she's a lot more versatile, willing to do other things other than like what made her great. So that's one of the reasons why I agree that she's a lot better than like Goldberg or Brock Lesnar before all of all of that happened.
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's why.
bang on. Bang on the money on that one. But up next, let's talk about a match which has divided opinions. It's divided opinions here at Wrestling Republic. It has divided the internet wrestling community. And that is Randy Orton teaming up with Jelly Roll to take on Logan Paul. And potentially, if he can get out of the UK, Drew McIntyre. There are question marks about that because currently he can't leave the country because of an issue with his passport or something. I'm not entirely sure. Hopefully it's resolved by Sunday. But regardless, Angie, I'll pass this one to you. Sorry, Clark, I'll pass this one to you first. What is your thoughts on this match?
When it comes to the passport situation, that's a pretty easy solve. He left his American passport in Nashville. He used his British passport to travel to the UK. Whether it's being overnight shipped or flown to him, he can get his American passport and come back because he has both. So that issue will be resolved as far as I'm concerned. Now, I don't know that for sure. You never know. There might be something else, maybe an expiration date or something that I don't know about. But as far as I know how that works with travel, he's going to be fine. As far as the match, Drew McIntyre is neighbors with Jelly Roll. They're friends. Randy Orton is the ultimate veteran. We got the perfect match to include Jelly Roll in. Jelly Roll has been awesome on the microphone. There's a lot of criticism. I'm not with it. He's been awesome on the microphone, and you know what he's proven to me is, and this is the only thing that bothers me about the celebrity crossovers, are when it's just to do it for the sake of the crossover. Jelly Roll's a legit fan. This is a dream come true for him. He's enjoying it. He's asking questions. He's taking it seriously. Is he as physically capable as anybody else in the ring? Absolutely not. Not even Logan Paul. But do not be shocked if this match steals the show night one. I think they're going to put on an entertaining tag match. I think the hot tag to Jelly Roll will land. I loved the Dusty Rhodes-esque jabs that he threw when he got physical the other night. I think we're going to see some of those, maybe even a bionic elbow. And if the big man climbs the ropes, I'll tell you what, MetLife Stadium will go ballistic. If he climbs to the turnbuckle and does a splash, that crowd will lose their minds. And this man has lost not 100 pounds, 200 plus pounds to be able to do this. And I think it's awesome. He's on the roll of his career. It's in his name, Jelly Roll. Keep it rolling. Orton and Jelly Roll pick up the victory via Jelly Roll climbing to the top rope and landing a jelly splash on Logan Paul. And that will be the biggest viral WWE moment of all time.
Match of the night.
Steal the show. I didn't say match of the night. I said steal the show. Two different things. I think there will be a better match. I think this will steal the show because of the reaction.
I don't know.
I don't think it will be the best wrestled match. I do not. That's not what I said, Ben. I said steal the show. I didn't say.
Aren't they one and the same?
No, the best match doesn't always steal the show. Think about that. That's the truth. There's an argument to be made that the Fatal 4-Way at the end of SummerSlam, the year of the first TLC, was the better wrestling match. It's arguably the most entertaining match on the show. What stole the show? Jeff Hardy flying off ladders with swantons in 15 minutes in TLC 1. And that's my point. That's my point.
It's an interesting point,
but the best match of the night, but it will steal the show.
I don't know. This is a really interesting conversation.
On Logan Paul, it will be in the stratosphere.
I'm sorry, I can't see it happening, but I can see that Jelly Roll slam being seen again, and that looked amazing on SmackDown, so I am here for it. But Clark, sorry, who is your prediction is Jelly Roll winning?
Jelly and Orton.
And I agree. you always have that, that celebrity win. That almost always happens. Angie, what about you?
Oh boy. So this type of match, unfortunately, is one of those ones where I just kind of sit there and go, why are we doing this? But
Yeah.
regardless, like I would love to see Orton and Jelly Roll win this just for the sake of it being kind of like one of those matches where like you have your celebrity matches, you always want the good guys to win and everything. But I also want to see Logan Paul get his comeuppance. It's a long time coming. And for each time he gets hit with someone's signature move, it's always fun. So being able
That's
to
true.
see that splash on Logan Paul, that would be pretty funny. I'll get a good
It
little
would be.
kick out of that. But I wouldn't say it would steal the show per se, but it'll definitely have that. I feel like there'll be that feel good moment.
Yeah. I definitely do agree with that. Fernando says, if Drew can't make it, who should replace him? 1000%. Hashtag we want Mello, Carmelo Hayes. He's doing nothing. Might as well give him that opportunity.
I think you go with one of the other Nashville neighbors, since you have two of them on the roster, and it's got to be either Sheamus or Rusev, who are both from Nashville, both live in the same neighborhood as Drew McIntyre, right by Jelly Roll. They all,
Yeah, but
all their kids go to school together. They're all friends. They all hang out in that Nashville crew. Keep it comfortable. Keep it with the people he knows. I think that's the reason that these people are in the ring in the first place.
I'm sorry, Clark. This Rusev, let's face it, this Rusev return has been so pointless so far. But if now he teams up with Jelly Roll, he'll also be the world's biggest hypocrite.
I get that, but they're neighbors. Rusev was not the best. Sheamus is probably the shout. But all of them live in the same community.
It's got to be a heel. It's got to be Mello. Donnie says Jelly Roll will impress people in the ring. And I hope you are right. I reckon you are right because to Clark's point, he is a wrestling fan. But up next, let's go to the next match and let's talk about another tag team match. Roman Reigns and the Yeet Master, Jey Uso, will be teaming up to take on Breakker and Bronson. This one I am excited for. And on yesterday's show, Shard described this as a must-win for Breakker and Bronson, and I am inclined to agree with him, and that is where my prediction is going. But Angie, what about you?
Oh boy. So this one is actually one of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most. This one is one of those. It's kind of like the stereotypical can they coexist, especially with Breakker and Bronson. So like this is one of those ones where it's like I feel like there's going to be a bit of miscommunication on that side of the ring, whereas with Jey and Roman Reigns, I think they can put enough of a pass behind them, so to speak, to be able to be a pretty decent unit against them. Maybe might be able to use old tactics to be able to get a leg up on Breakker and Bronson. So my prediction, I would definitely have to say Roman Reigns and Jey.
Well, Ant-U does agree with you as well. He is putting his ones up for Roman Reigns. But, Clark, what about you?
Okay. If I was booking it, I would do exactly what Angie just said. And then for me, I think the most important moment is whether it's a cord of sorts or a stanchion or something. I just want Bronson Reed to tie the shoes together and throw them over so that they're hanging the whole match. Just do it. Be the high school bully. Be the meanest. I stole your sneakers and you can't have them back. I would die for that.
The next match, make it a
they just
out
sit
anywhere
there the
and
whole
put their heads down the toilet.
Well, think about it, because we're outdoors. There's going to be all the cords to hold up the cover of the ring. So there's all kinds of room to do it. And I hope he's been practicing all week with the laces tied together, perfect throw, and first try they hang up on the cord. And they're just there the rest of the night. I hope they leave him up for night two. It would be the greatest gag ever. If I was booking it, I would do exactly what Angie just presented. I'm personally afraid it's going to be the opposite, and it's going to be Braun and Bronson just decimate them. I mean,
that's what I want.
We're talking about cut in half Roman Reigns, maybe once or twice, cut in half Jey Uso, maybe both get tsunami'd, maybe multiple tsunamis, something like that, to really put the stamp on Braun and Bronson, because without Seth Rollins, they need that. They need to be elevated now. They have to fill a void that's virtually unfillable with two. You're filling the shoes of one person with two. Ironically, they stole another man's shoes, but at the end of the day, like it's still a tall task.
I do agree, but yeah, I mean they have to win. I think, to your point, just so Seth Rollins, they can. So they seem like a big deal without Seth Rollins. Now, something which a lot of people have been saying is, now that Seth's out, they do need a third man. We know Austin Theory is injured. We really don't know if he's really injured or not. We got to put him with him. Austin Theory helps him get the win.
Not this time. Not this time. Not this time. Not Austin Theory. Not yet.
That would actually be really funny if that happened.
It would be funny, but it'd be silly. What would be funny if he like cosplayed as Seth? That would be funny.
That would be hilarious.
He came out to Seth's music, just like acted like he was him.
Pretends to cash in Money in the Bank.
If that's the case, I'm in.
That would actually be funny to see.
Another shout, actually, from Aunt Ewis, is a perfect time to bring Dragunov back. Actually, I love that shout. Love it.
I actually really miss him.
Yeah.
I miss Dragunov.
Thought about that, but that is brilliant. I'd love to see it. Numero 1 says, if they really want a third man, let it be Ethan Page.
No.
Clark.
We can't. Did you see last night? We can't. Stop.
No, we can't do that.
No, his computer broke. He went on such a rant about Ethan Page.
Oh, yeah, no, it's brutal.
But no, Ethan Page, I'm sorry. I think he's got potential, but I don't think he's the future of this business because, like I said before, if this is meant to be a faction about the future of this business, no way can two of the members be over the age of 34. It can't happen. If it's about the future of this business,
I turned 34
you
in a
got to have
month.
two people in their 20s.
I thought I was in.
No, you're
34
out.
in a month.
You're out. You're
not if I debut at SummerSlam.
Well, yeah, you better do it quick before we can go on a rant.
I get in there quick enough at SummerSlam.
If you turn 34 by the time Allison analysis says, you're going to be...
Ben thinks he's only going to live like 14 more years. He's like 34. You're ancient.
14 more years?
Ben's just dead convinced that everybody, like, you're in a retirement home
I'm not,
31.
but if you're the future of this business, you're not going to be 34.
Ben's like, you got like a nice 8-year window
like
to get everything done
business.
athletically you need to. And then from there, it's like, here's your walker, sir.
Don't worry, we put fresh tennis balls on them.
Old people do great stuff all the time.
They do.
That's John Cena.
But you're not the future of this business at that age. You're the
I
present
am right
of the
now.
business. Yeah, you're the present.
Oh, yeah. That's nice of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Aww.
There you are. See,
you know what? I'll take that.
All round.
But look at Fernando. It's a young man's game. No, don't let Ben have this. Don't
yes,
do that,
Fernando. Yes.
No. Fernando and I we're friends. Don't do that. Don't let him have this.
But up next,
ageism from Ben again. Sorry. Now you can go to the next segment.
Oh my gosh, this is that. Fair enough on that comment. That got me right. Up next, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. The loser has to say to the other, "You were right," or "I was wrong." I really like that stipulation, and because of that stipulation, I'm really fascinated to see who wins this match. There's a lot of stuff out there right now said by Karrion Kross himself about what his future in WWE is going to be. Has he signed a new deal? Has he not signed a new deal? I think it will be very, very clear after this match. If he wins it, he's sure to stay. If he loses, he might just be saying bye-bye. Clark, what is your take?
I really haven't bought into the Kross hype. I think it's okay. It's just okay at best. I think he also should shave his head again and be like Killer Kross. like it used to be. Not that I'm so obsessed with haircuts, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't love it. In my eyes, I think Sami Zayn wins, tells him he's wrong, and this might be Karrion Kross's swan song in the WWE. For all I know, that's the way I'm looking at it. Unless they're really going to try to strap the rocket to his back and honor these merch sales, my thought is Sami Zayn wins the match. Karrion Kross says you were right and walks away.
Honestly, Clark, I completely and utterly agree with you on that. I can't even disagree. I think he is saying bye-bye. I think this is his swan song. Quite frankly, they might as well just play some dramatic music as he walks back after the match because he is done. And I think I can't really get my head around it completely, if I'm being honest. But Angie, what about you? What is your prediction for this one?
I actually would like to disagree.
Ooh.
I am actually looking at this as a ways of actually giving Karrion Kross a push to a different storyline. Either to where like we can actually establish a rivalry between Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. This would be a pretty good start to it if it winds up being to where Karrion Kross winds up winning.
Yeah.
But because like what else does Sami Zayn really need at this point? Like he's already went ahead and established himself as that underdog hero. He's like that he's that crowd favorite already. So like and he's already gotten a win over Karrion Kross as it is. So I'm thinking to even this out, it would be a win for Karrion Kross instead.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. And I hope that is the case because, as well, to your point, there is this narrative online, the phrase people are liking to throw about at the minute, and that's Sammy Hogan. That Sami Zayn is always winning. He always ends up winning everything, which isn't true.
I was going to say, I'm like,
but it wouldn't help that narrative at all. So I think Kross does need to win, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, next in line for Sami is the world title. That's the last thing he needs. And I'll say this with booking Saudi Arabia for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
It seems pretty. It seems like the stars are aligning.
I predicted
in that
it in
regard.
April.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that that's where we're headed. If a rubber match with Kross helps us get there, I'm cool with that. Actually, I really do like Angie's call on that. Like that makes a lot of sense in my mind.
Donnie says that he did a killer interview this morning with Sami Zayn and he's stoked for what they have planned. Of course, check that out on Huge Pop Radio. You can check it out on the Wrestling Republic website. We have an entire section for them. Fantastic, fantastic show. No doubt about it. Fernando is predicting a Karrion Kross win and Numero One is saying Sami Zayn wins the match. After the match, he wants Karrion Kross to raise Sami's hand and they become a tag team. What?
You know what? It wouldn't be that far off. There have been more unorthodox
you were right. Now we're teams.
That might work.
Now we're a team. Hey, you're right. Hey, now that I thought about it, you're right. Let's team up.
He's Karrion Kross just gets repackaged as 2016 Sami Zayn, just coming out with those tights doing the dance.
I mean, to be fair, there was once upon a time, there was a whole storyline with Mick Foley, with Sheamus and Cesaro. So, like, it said, you know what, you two are fighting too much. I want to see what you guys are like when you're on the same page. And then we got the bar. So, I mean, maybe.
That's true. That is true. And a similar
thing. The bar was good.
Bryan Danielson and Kane as well. So we have seen it.
Well, that took therapy.
That's true. There was a lot going on there.
There was a lot of logistics in that one.
Up next, let's talk about the Women's Tag Team Championships because Roxanne and Raquel will be defending their tag team gold against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. A makeshift tag team of Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, but a tag team that I have been enjoying a lot as of late. Angie, I want to get your thoughts on this one.
Okay, so for this one, I honestly think that this one I really want Charlotte and Alexa Bliss to win this one. The fact that they are actually working really well as a tag team. Honestly, it's been really refreshing, but also at the same time, it's kind of scary how well they work together. Um, on the other side, we also have the fact that they're with Roxanne and Raquel just being a team together. It's only because of chance, which that chance might come full circle, honestly, because I think this would actually make for a pretty good time for Liv to just pop up out of nowhere. If of course she's cleared. I don't know if she would be by the time the end of the week would come by, but um, that would make for a pretty shocking twist. But other than that, honestly, Charlotte and Alexa winning this would be great. But I have this sneaking suspicion Judgment Day is gonna Judgment Day. So it might go to Raquel and Roxanne.
That is a very good point. And like you said, Liv Morgan, I think she is going to be the deciding factor in this, even if she doesn't show up. Because if she is going to be out for a long time, I don't think they can have tensions in this new Judgment Day yet. So I think if that's the case, they're going to have to keep the titles on the Judgment Day just for, the future of it. But Donnie says, for your information, PLE is in Jersey, Liv is in Jersey,
And
and
from
he
Jersey.
reckons she will be at the event. I mean,
So, Donnie, I appreciate the comment because as far as my thoughts on this match, that was a major factor. There's not a bigger pop outside of the jelly splash that I mentioned earlier that we're going to
Jelly
see
splash.
this night. That we're going to see this night than the potential appearance of Liv Morgan, and she's going to be a babyface in New Jersey. People in that area know that she's from New Jersey. That's what Liv is like. I don't know if Liv doesn't actually cost Roxanne and Raquel the titles at this stage, and we go with Charlotte and Alexa because you know what? They kind of put it in our face, the whole Charlotte not being loved as a babyface around the Rumble and everything like that.
Yeah.
Alexa has made me like the team.
That's what I was saying. It's true.
Actually brilliant. I doubted it at first. And this is where Liv Morgan turning on the Judgment Day in this moment in basically her home state in front of a crowd that is more inclined to cheer for her than maybe in other cities per se is not the worst idea I've ever heard. I think either way, whether Liv is on the show and cleared to do anything or does something while injured or doesn't show up at all, I think either way, I do believe actually Charlotte and Alexa are going to win these titles.
I'm going to be honest. I was going to say the same prediction, Clark, until we spoke about this, because I'm now changing my prediction. I'm actually going to go for Roxanne and Raquel. And the reason for that is I'm thinking you guys are right. Fans are starting to root for Charlotte Flair again. Let's not give them everything yet. Let's not give them the gold. Let's give them the gold, but at the next PLE, let's have them lose it here due to Dominic Mysterio. Have Dom and Roxanne get a little bit closer. Then the next PLE, have them lose the whatever. And then when Liv does return, there'll actually be more of a purpose to it. Because yes, obviously Liv is in Jersey, but the fact is, I don't think they've told enough of a story between Roxanne and Dom for Liv to actually be mad yet.
That's fair. That's fair. That is fair.
I can't.
They slip
But
up. Unless they slip
that's
up.
true. There is a few days until the show. Maybe something happens there. Donnie thinks Clark is right. We got Corey Bain saying Angie, Liv returns, it's Jersey. A lot of people are predicting that, and Fernando is predicting it as well. I'm going to go the Judgment Day. But up next, we have to talk the main event of night one. Gunther, CM Punk, the World Heavyweight Championship. The match, which as we know now from Unreal, was meant to be the World Championship match at WrestleMania originally. This was the original plan, and we all know eventually Gunther did lose that World Championship to Jey Uso at WrestleMania, and I think the plan was for him to always lose that title. So the fact that he lost it, then won it back, and now they are doing the Punk match, it makes me think they are putting this title on CM Punk. I do reckon originally there was probably meant to be a cash-in at this point, but now I reckon Punk is just going to win it clean and simple, but it is going to be an absolute banger. Angie, what's your take on this one?
Oh boy. See, I'm kind of stuck in the middle for this one because Gunther, no matter how we look at it, Gunther is one of those units where he just decimates through people pretty quickly. On the other hand, we got the never say die CM Punk, which when you put those two in the same ring together, yeah, either way, it's gonna be a great match. This honestly doesn't surprise me that this was supposed to be a WrestleMania match because the stack for this is just absolutely insane. But if I had to choose, as much as I like CM Punk, I'd have to give this one to Gunther. I think he's gonna be to a point where Gunther is just going to overwhelm CM Punk, and this will be that moment where CM Punk isn't going to be able to deal with the pressure.
That is a very interesting point. And also, Punk got into Gunther's head on Monday, which was the go-home show. And of course, the old thing in wrestling is whoever's on top on the go-home show loses at the PLE. So I could see that happening as well. But Clark, what's your take?
It's the world title. I think it's really cool. I think if Seth Rollins was still involved with the Money in the Bank briefcase, things would be different. But let's be honest with ourselves. The last time we saw CM Punk win a world title, he went and ate donuts and we had to call the ambulance for everybody in the locker room. So like, I don't know necessarily that Punk needs the world title here. I think Gunther's been on a heck of a run. I like the idea of putting on just an absolute classic of a match. Gunther picks up the victory. I don't think via rear naked choke, sleeper, whatever you'd like to call it, like he has in the past. Maybe the clotheslines or the power bombs, uses one of those finishes. Maybe he kicks out of one or gets a foot on the rope of a GTS. We make this as close as possible. Gunther walks away still the champion, and CM Punk looks really good in the process and has other rivalries set up, but I don't see the purpose of it. It doesn't make the title any bigger than it already is right now. Gunther's essentially played an all-star team since he's come back to regain the title after losing it at Mania. Let's keep that rolling into the fall. I think Punk's definitely on the list of people that are okay in my eyes to eventually dethrone Gunther. I don't think the time is at SummerSlam because I think there are other bigger moves to be made and plays to be made in a CM Punk victory celebration after night one could potentially step on the toes of those that we may see night two.
Clark, you want a reason why CM Punk should win it, why it's beneficial to have him win it. I'll give you two. One of them is very simply CM Punk is CM Punk. He's a bigger draw. But the second, and more importantly, because, hey, you could be turning Gunther into a star, 80% of CM Punk's storylines are fantastic. They are thoroughly entertaining from start until finish. Since he's lost the Intercontinental Championship, 20% of Gunther's storylines are entertaining. It's just miss after miss right now with him.
I do agree. At the same time, the matches aren't misses. And
I don't know.
I think, well, I mean, he had to wrestle Goldberg, guys. Come on. Let's give him a break on that.
Fair enough, to be fair.
Let's give Gunther a break. Could anybody have done better than Gunther did in that match? I don't think so. Like, he was not the problem, right?
Yeah.
And I thought he did a decent enough job with Jade. It was a little convoluted, but that's also not his fault. The matches were entertaining. So I don't know necessarily that it's going to be what it is. I think for sure, I would prefer to keep the title on Gunther for the time being.
Fair enough. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I do joke about Gunther, but he actually is one of my favorite wrestlers from an in-ring perspective, right? I do love his stuff. I've watched him for years and years and years since when he was competing in the United Kingdom. But right now, a lot of people are saying it. They said it on yesterday's show. It just doesn't really feel like they know how to book him. He is so bland. And the phrase I always say on this show is story is king. And the stories they're telling with him, they're not
It's
good.
really interesting. I think the absence of Imperium is missed sorely more than we realized. That entrance, Kaiser, I know that Kaiser is capable of more. And I do understand that that's part of the reason why this is not still happening. That entrance, the jacket, all of it gave Gunther more than just being I'm the generic ring general, right? Like a million Y's. I don't know how you say that. Ring general, but he character-wise, him carrying himself is more difficult. He can deliver in the ring. His size, his athleticism, his ability bell to bell is there. I think taking away Kaiser and even Vinci, it hurt Gunther as a heel too, because we're not totally sure who he is. And this is interesting. Shotty said, so it was Jay's fault. No. I'm not blaming either in-ring competitor. I would call it creative, right? We've all been watching Unreal recently. I would call that creative's fault. I do not blame, because listen, I was at the night one match. The crowd was electric for that match. The crowd was into the match. There wasn't anything wrong with it. And but I would say creatively, we didn't make it feel like it was a ton of substance, especially on the back end.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing I will say, though, too,
I am blaming Jason Jordan specifically out of all the people in creative.
Jason Jordan.
And it's Jason Jordan.
Call out deliberately. But I do want to say one more thing, because I agree with Shard here. And like I said, I'm a big Gunther fan. But at the end of the day, the stories which you tell with him are often the same. And let's go back to the territory days for a second. Gunther is somebody who would come into a territory, tear the place up, have a great run on top, put over a babyface, then move on to the next territory. And that's what he basically did for his entire career. That's what he did on the independent scene. Then that's what he did in NXT UK. Then he did it on NXT. Then he did it with the Intercontinental Championship. Then he kind of did it with the World Championship, but it didn't really work the same because it's the same company, it's the same TV show. And now it's not working again. Somebody maybe needs some time away between each title reign.
I think it's going to be okay with Gunther. I think I loved the debate yesterday we saw on the show. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I think there were a lot of great points made. At the end of the day, though, I do think that Gunther is actually a bigger star than credit was given. I agree
with that too.
He's in now that lexicon, because the other thing is, when you start to think about stuff like a Goldberg match, he's the logical first name. And that's a position in the company that's above the mid card. When you're like, who could do the retirement match with Goldberg, which is a tall task.
Yeah.
To say the least, right? Who could do it? And you start to list names in your head. It's like, oh, Gunther would be pretty darn good at that, right? He can pretty much do everything in the ring. And so I think for that reason, it's dicey. I'm like in the middle on this one. It sucks because I wish I was like definitively the other way, like he's the best, and like wanted to argue that side. I'm in the middle. I think it's closer to the central, or the central, the center. You know, than anything else. I don't know. The could we see Ilya up here? Ilya and Gunther could wrestle every Monday night for the rest of the year, and I wouldn't complain about it one time on the show. So if that's gonna happen down the road, I'm cool with that.
I'd love to see it. That is for sure. Maybe even actually put them as a we can't do it again, actually. There's too many makeshift tag teams. But them having a tag team run would be something different for Gunther. It would be something fresh. It would be a new story to tell instead of telling the same old story. But it does bring us, guys, to the end of the show. Thank you to Clark, but also a massive thank you to Angie for her debut show, and a brilliant one at that. Thank you to everybody who's been in the comments throughout. We really appreciate you guys, and we'll be back the same time, same place tomorrow to talk a little bit of AEW Dynamite. See you guys then. Peace.